Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope you're having a lovely day. Welcome to today's episode of Do Not Accept the Premise of Assholes. I am your host, Louis Rossman, and today I would like to make a video on a giant mistake that I believe some people in the Stop Killing Games movement has made, and what I need you guys to do to fix this. This is about a post I saw on Reddit that I was linked to. It says, and I quote, "We've received reports of serious threats towards individuals. While we're not pleased with the ESA's behavior, obviously, we've received reports of serious threats towards individuals. This behavior does not reflect Stop Killing Games' values, and anyone found to be doing this will be banned immediately." Senator, do you still beat your wife? No. Do you see what happened there? When you respond to "do you still beat your wife" with no, you've accepted the premise that at one point in time you beat your wife. If you say yes, then, well, you must still beat your wife. It's a bullshit question. When you respond to the premise of assholes, you always lose. You're not supposed to play this game. This is a very bad game to play. And it's a game that I've unfortunately learned because I have been dealing with this as I've tried to push right to repair forward for the last 12 years. I've dealt with politicians. I've dealt with lobbyists. There are ones that I've dealt with on the other side that have been scumbags, and there's some that I've hired on my own side that have been scumbags that I figured out the hard way. This is a difficult lesson to learn. I remember back in 2015 and 2014 when I would show up to these legislative hearings, there was one assembly person that told me that there was a lobbyist for either Apple or Samsung that said that when I replace a fuse or a chip inside of the motherboard, I'm replacing it and I'm turning the Mac into a PC. But then I misrepresent it as if it's still a Mac to my customer, which is fraud. That's crazy. That's insane. And the reason that they were able to say these things to get right to repair and other bills killed is because back in the day, you did not have political YouTubers. You didn't have the government website allowing you to stream a committee hearing. They didn't even have cameras in these committee hearings. When I was showing up with my old beat up Sony NEX E850, I was usually the only person that was actually showing up to record what it is that the opposition said. And they would say insane shit. They would say that a magtrometer in a microwave would explode. They would say stuff like that. They would say that running a Minecraft server is illegal. And the reason they got away with it is because there was no accountability, because they were used to speaking to a room of 3 or 4 old farts that didn't really know anything about technology, and they were not being held accountable. What you're seeing now is a rapid dose of accountability because these hearings are now live streamed, and you have people on YouTube that find them and repost them to their channels. So something that used to be viewed by 3 or 4 people are now getting viewed by millions of people around the world, and they're scrambling to figure out a way to deal with this. And the way that they've learned that they deal with this is death threat, nasty emails. Hey, can you tell everybody on your side to stop sending me these nasty emails? And then what you do thinking you're a nice person, I don't want people to be harassed. I don't want people to get nasty emails and death threats. Is go, oh, everybody, please don't send death threats to that person. What happens when you type that? You have now accepted tacitly that your side sends death threats to people. See, here's the thing. If they say that they believe that everybody on your side are evil, mean, bad people, these gamers are bastards, they're serial killers, they're murderers, they send everybody nasty messages, they told me to go kill myself, that's an accusation. Accusations require evidence, and it sounds like slander. You just can't do that. You can't make unfounded accusations without presenting any evidence. But if they can get you to say it, now, well, listen, I didn't say anything. Look, even they are telling their own community to be nice to people because they're so mean. Even they know their own community is toxic. The reason this bothers me so much is because they're taking advantage of the fact that they believe that you are good people. The same way that some of those Moms Demand Action people have been tricked into believing this. David Tobin was mentioning that in the past video where they were literally told that this is a gun printing machine. It's just designed to print guns. That's what it does. You just hit a button and it prints a gun. And then they show up opposed to this. They are taking advantage of the fact that most of the people in the Stop Killing Games movement are actually good people that don't want people to be harassed. So you get put in the situation where you go, oh no, if I say that they're making it up, then I sound like Alex Jones in the Sandy Hook shooting, calling it a false flag. And oh, I'm going to tell the people in my audience, please be nice to people. I want people to be nice to people. And the problem with that is that when you do that, you are essentially accepting the fact that there's only a yes or a no answer to, Senator, do you still beat your wife? And you cannot do that. I see that in the comments of the thread that I'm reading. Half of the people in that thread are saying this is a false flag. They're making it up, which puts you in the Alex Jones asshole category of that did not happen. And then there is the side saying we need to take accountability and responsibility, and we need to respond to this by condemning this in our community, which is accepting that this is real or came from your community. When I say accepting the premise of assholes, what I mean is somebody has taken a problem and put it in your lap that doesn't belong there, and you turn into the character I talked about, the problem in my lap, instead of doing what you're supposed to do, which is take that problem and put it right back where it belongs, and theirs. And I would like to instruct you on how you do that. I've experienced this many times before, and I'll give you just a few examples of it that I have here. There was a Senator C.T. Wilson. He didn't know the difference between source code and firmware. And when I pointed out that he didn't read the bill and that he didn't know the difference between source code and firmware, rather than come out and admit that he made a mistake, he claimed people were sending him all these nasty racist emails. Of course, he never presented any of them. He never showed any of them. He never filed an official complaint about any of them, but he said that they did. There was a lobbyist that said that right to repair is a solution in search of a problem that does not exist. And after hearing this over and over and over again, I checked one of the lobbyist's personal Twitter and I saw them say, I'm experiencing phone issues. The phone is on, but the screen is black. I've tried everything. It's time for, and I could be clear, the last time I clicked this was almost 7 years ago. So I don't remember exactly what it said. It's like a new phone if I can't find a place to repair it. So now I can show that her own statement is not only a statement that's false, but it's a statement that she knows is false because she tried to get a phone repair and had issues getting a phone repair. And now she's lobbying against right to repair by saying that there's no problem. And it's funny, I'd never heard about any sort of threats, any sort of harassment before. And all that came out when I pointed out, look, she lied. Never heard anything about any threats before. When I point out that they lied about something, that's when I hear about it. Next, and one of my personal favorites. In Colorado, there was a right to repair bill that was passed many years ago. It was a great right to repair bill. A senator introduced a bill that was mostly sponsored and paid for by Cisco and IBM to try and gut that right to repair bill. And when they were trying to gut that right to repair bill, the senator made a statement that the governor said in his signing statement that he wanted right to repair to have an exemption for critical infrastructure. So I decided to read the signing statement and I saw no mention of this. I actually couldn't find a single mention of Governor Jared Polis ever saying anything related to this. So I made a video saying, here's what the senator said, and then here's the actual signing statement. He lied. Do you think that he came out and apologized and provided a citation for his statement? Of course not. Death threats, death threats, death threats.
Political violence in any form are unacceptable inside or outside of this building. And if you were mad about a piece of legislation, send us a...
No, I did some research into this. I actually asked around, were there any official complaints filed? No. Were there any police reports filed? No. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I filed a police report many years ago, almost 10 years ago, when a $200 bike was stolen. I'm not even talking about somebody punched me in the face and took it violently. I'm talking about I locked it to a telephone pole. I forgot it was there. I came back a week later and I saw that the lock had been cut. I filed a police report over a $200 bike. And you're not filing a police report or any sort of complaint over somebody threatening your life? That's crazy. So here's what I'm going to do. It doesn't seem like you took this seriously. So because you did not take it seriously, I'm going to take this threat as seriously as you did, which is not at all. And I'm going to continue to focus on the point. How about this, Senator? I'm going to work with you. I'm politically ignorant. I barely graduated high school. I will give you $2,000 to you personally or a charity of your choosing if you're not allowed to accept my money, if you will simply cite your claim. You said that the governor said that this bill needs to be amended because right to repair is so horrible. Where did he say that? If I missed it, then you could give $2,000 to children that are starving right now. I'm waiting for that citation the same way that I'm waiting for evidence of the death threats and evidence of a police report. I'm probably going to be waiting for a long time. Less than a week later, this happened. The bill that he was introducing to destroy right to repair failed. And I never got my citation. I never got my source. And I never got my police report. I never will. And we both know why that's the case. This is their strategy. They're used to being able to fearmonger older legislators by saying that these parts that don't actually exist inside of microwaves will blow up and explode if right to repair passes. And you can see Jessa over here right about to bite her hand because she can't deal with listening to this complete bullshit and not have anybody call them out on it. Accountability is a literal shock to their system and they don't know how to deal with it. And the same way that a rat, when cornered, is going to start scratching you, in my opinion, they're going to start doing the same thing. Here's my statement on the matter. Ross Scott has never conducted himself as anything but respectful, and neither of the people that he's worked with, alongside the people pushing this petition in the EU. This does not need to be announced because it's been already demonstrated by how you all behaved. But here's what I would say. Here's what I think that your statement should be. Moderators and leaders in the Stop Killing Games movement are upstanding citizens of the community that will always happily and enthusiastically cooperate with any form of law enforcement to work to stop any threats of violence. We always have, and we always will. Oh, you're saying that you didn't file a police report? You mean somebody threatened your life and they didn't even file a police report? I filed a police report when somebody stole the tip jar from my store. It doesn't seem like you care very much about your own personal safety. But because I care about you, even though we disagree on almost everything, because I care more about your personal safety than you do yourself, let's go down to the police station and file this together. I'll even talk about the squabble that we had online and all the people in my movement and everything else. You can even include that in the report. I'll talk about it with them. Oh, you don't want to do that? You don't want to file a report? Okay, let's have a conversation about why that is. Is it because you don't feel like you're actually being threatened? And if that is the case, why? I'd love to hear. Oh, you don't want to talk about it anymore. Now I see. Let's get back to the discussion that we were having before. Ma'am, can you explain why it is you lied to the state Senate and said that playing Minecraft on a server that was available on their own website is illegal? Ma'am, can you explain why it is you said that it is not true that publishers are just killing games willy-nilly in spite of the fact that we have an entire database with sources, citations, dates, names of everything? You're going to bring the conversation back to where it belongs. You are going to treat their deflection as seriously as they have treated their deflection, which is less seriously than I treated a stolen tip jar or a stolen, used, beat-up $200 bicycle in Bed-Stuy. And you are going to get back to having the conversation that needs to be had. And you are not going to make this fucking mistake again. Promise me. These are highly manipulative people. They know what they're doing. They are more than happy to get up in front of a group of senators and look them straight in the eye and make shit up. That takes a very special type of person, a very manipulative type of person. That is what you are dealing with. And if that is what they are used to doing every single day, imagine what they're going to be doing to you. Nah, you guys need a little bit more training before you start playing this game. You are dealing with highly manipulative people. You cannot play their game. You will never win playing their game. You win playing your game. You win by taking their threats as seriously as they have. You win by not accepting the premise of assholes. Don't do it again. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.